A chance now for the New Zealanders to throw down the challenge, just as the South Africans have been doing throughout all the pre-match celebrations. Jonah Lomu absolutely living the haka. The big boy getting really carried away there. So almost ready for the rugby. Both countries have stuck with the teams which won through for them in the semi-finals. Chester Williams, the 4-try hero against Western Samoa, is on the left, and James Small has the job of marking Jonah Lomu. There was talk of replacing the veteran Bali Swart, but he stays at tight head, and perhaps most controversially, they're persisting with Mark Andrews at number 8 instead of in his normal position as the front jumping second row. It worked in the Durban Deluge, but this will be a real test of his speed and control at the base of the scrum. New Zealand were never going to tamper with their lineup. They've tremendous pace in the backs with the youngsters, 23-year-old Glenn Osborne, 21-year-old Jeff Wilson, 20-year-old Jonah Lomu, and 22-year-old Andrew Mertens making such a huge impression. In the forwards, there's a slight worry about Zinzan Brooks' fitness. He missed the first 2 matches with Achilles tendon trouble and suffered a recurrence of the injury in the semi-final. Now, to cover that, New Zealand have changed their replacements. If Brooke does not last the game, Michael Brewer will move across to number 8, and Jamie Joseph will come in at blindside flanker. There's the man with the job of controlling it all, 43-year-old Ed Morrison from England, former Bristol Harlequins fly half, and the first match he refereed, Old Bristolians thirds against North Bristol thirds. Touch judges Derek Dutton from Wales, who refereed the final in 1991, and Joel Dumais from France. And a last few instructions from the captain, staying in a huddle. Tremendous excitement, but I thought even when they were meeting President Mandela, the All Blacks looking incredibly focused, just as they did against England, and I'm sure that what they're after is a start like that. Joel Dumais, one of the touch judges, just signalling to the referee that everything is right. And it'll be Andrew Mertens, the youngster who's made such a terrific impression in this tournament, taking a short one, totally different. A mistake, but South Africa picking it up, so play continues. Offside by New Zealand. Right from the start, Steve, trying something different.
Yes, as against England, they tried something different there, but unlike against England, this one didn't work. Maybe a sign of things to come.
Joel Stransky, the man who'll put this ball away to touch, I'm sure. Very nice for the fly half to get a free kick of the ball as his first touch, just to give him confidence if he puts it in. But he's failed. And Lomu showing he's got a useful left boot as well. Sorry, that was Osborne. Just seeing him go back to it. Young Glenn Osborne, the fullback, back where he should be. Joos van der Westhuizen, and he hoists it high into the stands. That was meant to go down the tram lines. Few signs of nerves, but that's hardly surprising, Steve.
No, the opening ceremony really was absolutely spine-chilling, and the players have now got to get that out of their minds and get on with the game.
The calm before the storm. Misses everybody. Stransky. And New Zealand getting the put in at the scrum because the ball was still in the air. Josh Kronfeld Good firm scrum, picked up by Brook. Wide to Osborne, and he's away. Osborne away, looking for support. Find it straight away. The big barrel pass out to Lomu. He can't pick it up, but Bunce can. Walter Little. And into touch inside the 22, but you could see the intentions of Bashop there straight away, Steve. Get the ball out to Lomu and let him run at them.
Yes, we know he's out there somewhere. They'll find him, believe you me. 20-yard, 30-yard passes, and they don't even matter if they go straight to hand, because once they break the South African defence, they're looking for one guy, Jonah Lomu.
They have the throw in. Lomu taking up a position about 15 metres in, ready to join the play in the midfield. Four-man line for the New Zealanders. Dowd at the front, Brooks second, Jones third, Brewer at the back. Comes to Robin Brooke. He flicks it out to Mertens, who puts it high, leaving it to Joubert, and he's able to mark.
Still a good kick though by Mertens. He's pinned Joubert right into his corner.
And already Ed Morrison just having a quick word with James Small, saying, be quiet, James. I'll referee this one, as he tried to say that Fitzpatrick had followed through illegally. Remember, Ed Morrison sent off James Small for talking too much on the Australian tour. Taken by Dowd at the front. Wide to Bunce. Bunce, as so often does, making that vital yard or two, and offside. The South Africans going over the top to kill it.
That's where I'm so impressed with New Zealand though, John. You saw that line out, so innovative, you know, straight away to Craig Dowd at the front. He won the line out ball that was so important, that's led to this early chance for young Mertens.
So Mertens with the first real chance here. An easiest kick. More than 15 metres in, so the angle's not very great, and certainly distance no problem at all. Andrew Mertens, as cool as ice, even though he always looks like a rather worried little individual. Scored 100 points in the World Cup so far. And through it goes. First blood to New Zealand, 5 minutes gone, and they lead 3 points to 0.
And like you say, John, as cool as ice, that young man, isn't he? That was a real pressure kick. Started this opening of this World Cup final. The tension and down the pitch is unbelievable.
Good tap back, but it came forward again, and New Zealand were able to tie it up. Knock forward from the South Africans. Huge kick. Real tester. Bounces infield, fortunately, for Chester Williams. And a great kick from him. Huge cheer from the crowd as he takes play up to 10 metres. Quickly taken by the All Blacks. And that stands on end. Small has a chance to go. At Lomu, it was a poor pass inside. Zinzan Brook peeling off, barrels it away. Well left there by Bashop, because he could easily have knocked that on. Joubert against Wilson. And he finds a beautiful grubber kick to touch, just bouncing it in.
A lot of nerves on the field at the moment from the South Africans. They need to settle very quickly if they're going to threaten New Zealand.
little with the kick this time, pushing it forward into the corners. Oh, it's a good one too. Just rescued by Joubert, but he had no angle, so he just hoists it down. Mertens thinking of the drop goal. It's hit it low. 22 dropout South Africa.
Perhaps he should have given it to Zinzambrook, John, because he drops it from 50 yards, as we know, to our cost.
Jus van der Westhuizen just thinking about the quickly taken one, but it's back now to Stransky. Deflected, but Pienaar it was in the right place. Kruger, Henny Leroux. And I think the penalty already signalled to be given there for the high tackle, allowing advantage though. Kick pushes deep into the 22, and that's a good advantage.
Yes, it was a good advantage by Ed Morrison. It shows that he settled very quickly into this game. It was a high tackle by Walter Little. He could have given the penalty, but he's allowed the advantage because South Africa have broken even in both lineouts so far.
So the first bit of real pressure on New Zealand. Sean Fitzpatrick. First touch to New Zealand, but South Africa are all across them, pushing and shoving. Morrison quickly onto it. Os Durant was the culprit. Andrew Mertens, his father, a junior All Black. Over the top to Pienaar. South African captain sets it up. Kruger goes blind. Stransky finding a little wriggle through. And well held by Olo Brown, the prop eventually getting him down. Wide it goes. Back inside to the big man Andrews. And a penalty. He was offside and he knows it. That was Robin Brooke. Way offside, and a rush of blood to the head, as so often happens to second row forwards when they find themselves in that position. So South Africa a chance to level the scores from a very similar position to the kick that Mertens landed.
And that's far better from South Africa. It's taken them 10 minutes or so to settle down, but the last 2 or 3 minutes they've come back into the game and put together 2 or 3 nice passing movements. Morne du Plessis, the manager, will be a lot happier.
Joel Stransky kicks so well out of the puddles down in Durban. How he managed to keep his footing, I shall never know. But he did, and took South Africa through that match and into this final. No mistake there either. Coming up to 11 minutes gone, and Joel Stransky levels the scores. The president applauds. 3-all.
And I think we're in for a cracking match here. 10 minutes gone, the ball's been end-to-end stuff. Both teams are going to want to run the ball, and I think we're in for another high-scoring match.
Hannah Stradum and Os Durant behind him. Good kick down to the corner, gathered in by Small. Good return from him.
New Zealand trying all the tricks, John, from these kickoffs, but the South Africans are very aware.
They're certainly not going to get caught as England did. Good jump from Ian Jones, beautifully taken by the New Zealander. And Lomo straight through the middle, breaks one tackle. the pass going. Penalty to New Zealand. South Africa offside. Great applause because Lomo was actually tackled, and when he tried to pass inside, it was number 8 Mark Andrews who was there to intercept.
You just know, don't you, New Zealand, they'll bring him into the game anyhow. That time it was through the midfield. He touched the ball for the first time really on the rattle, and he must have broke 3 or 4 tackles. And OK, the crowd cheered in the end, but he did take some pulling down, didn't he?
He most certainly did. And the result, another scoring chance for New Zealand. Very simple kick, almost in front, just outside the 22. High and true, right through the middle, and New Zealand go back into the lead, 6 points to 3.
And that's going to be South Africa's problem. Just where is Jonah Lomu going to turn up next? Out on the left wing, in the centre. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him amongst the forwards doing this game.
Yes, and this time he came to the middle, lovely decoy run. And once he's taken that ball at pace, he does now take some stopping, but a great tackle from the South African scrum half.
Bishop puts it down the touchline. Kronfeld underneath it. Well jumped there, Walter Little to secure it. Bishop. Wilson. And getting some continuity now. Now there's a bit of space. Little trying to get through. He's held but not brought down. Kronfeld. Oh, and the referee very, very quick on that one. A lot of referees might have given them a minute too longer, but he says no, it wasn't quick enough. Scrum to South Africa. The anxious stages, the New Zealand bench. There's the veteran prop. Richard Lowe, if he gets on today, he'll set a new New Zealand record. 15 minutes into the match. And at last the ball's in. But it's gone down on the front rows. Durant and Brown being warned there to stay higher, make sure it doesn't go down again. This time South Africa have it. Out it comes. Van der Westhuizen to Stransky. Again, that cultured boot. And very coolly, Osborne lets it go over his own line. Touches down for the 22 dropout.
Very coolly indeed. Glenn Osborne did well there because that could have bounced either way, and he's had a lot of patience. Did well, kept his cool. Good player, this lad.
Oh, well, that's an incredible dropout. Touch right down in the corner. Wonderful kick. Now, the last thing that South Africa expected there was to be pushed right back to their own line, just in one kick.
I honestly don't believe it, John. I think that must be the finest dropout I've ever seen. It's gone from 122 to 3 meters from the South African line. What a great pressure kick.
Here's Van der Westhuizen showing his annoyance that that ball went into touch. It just shows you how far the ball travels in this high altitude, the thin air up here in Johannesburg. Andrews got the first hand to it. Rousseau rips it away.
Now it's danger though, John. It's now New Zealand's throw. When they throw the ball into their own line, they do tend to get it.
Great chance for New Zealand. They have the ball a line out, just 6 or 7 meters out. Or Robin Brooke couldn't hold on to it. Timing just out. Back it goes to Stransky. And a great kick from the fly half. You feel, Steve, at the moment, this is a game that's sort of simmering and waiting to boil. A bit of a chess game at the moment, but about to explode.
Yes, last Sunday the New Zealanders could do no wrong. They played virtually faultless rugby for the first half hour. They're still trying things in this game, but at the moment they're just not quite coming off.
The deflection from New Zealand just came off the body, I think. Flick wide to Wilson. Chester Williams outside to Osborne. Offside. Just anxious to hack that ball away into touch, and forgetting that the last player to touch it was one of his own players behind him. And the touch given. Chester Williams showing that he can tackle as well as run. Big take there from Stratham. South Africa have it. First back chance. Yapi Mulder. Big 15-stone centre coming back. Room on the blind side. Van der Westhuizen, we know he can run. Chester Williams at scrum half this time. Rousseau. And a ruck that time, the scrum going to South Africa. A real pressure position for them.
Yes, well played, South Africa. First time we've really seen Van der Westhuizen come into the game. He's a top-class scrum half, and give him half a yard, he'll take 5.
Fitzpatrick. He's seen it all before. The only survivor from the '87 World Cup final. Driving off the side, Andrews. Again, the little thrust from, and they're over this time. They can get it down. No, the referee can't see it. Quite right. Ed Morrison couldn't see the ball go down. Look at the faces of the South Africans. They can't believe they haven't been given the try.
Well, we've seen it so often in this tournament. Players going over the line. Referee was in a superb position then, and you must get the ball down to the ground. And more importantly, John, the referee must see it. If in doubt, scrum to the attacking side.
Big push, and if New Zealand escape from here, they will consider an escape, but a big push from the South Africans. They've got that New Zealand scrum under real pressure, and a penalty to South Africa.
Well, I'm sure that'll be a talking point after the game. The drive went forward from the South African scrum, and Ed Morrison has penalised the New Zealanders for deliberately disengaging in the scrummage. Now then, the question is, if they'd gone that extra 2 metres, they might have scored should a penalty try have been awarded.
And Pienaar gone for goal. I'm not quite sure if it had been attempted there to get a scrum down again a yard from the New Zealand line, because it seems to me as though the South Africans fancied the chances in the scrummage, and they really took them on in that one.
Joel Stransky with the kick. On target again. No mistake from the Western Province fly half, and the scores are level. But importantly there, Steve, a little advantage for the first time in the forward battle going South Africa's way.
Yes, I can see the fans of the chances in those scrums. South Africa have always been a fantastic scrummaging nation. If they see any weakness at all in the New Zealand scrummage, they will exploit it.
And Mertens again trying something different. That was for Brewer to take short, but he couldn't quite get there, and he's hurt himself. And Mike Brewer has damaged his right ankle as he went through to try and grab that kickoff. There he is, the very experienced blindside for New Zealand. Made his debut against France in '86, and at one time looked certain to become a New Zealand captain. But he had a couple of years out of the game because of his studies. Captained Otago to the championship. Very highly thought of. Missed the '87 and the '91 World Cups through injury. And there's a South African pack that smells blood. They really did get the push on New Zealand at a scrum close to the New Zealand line, and that's when you'd expect the New Zealand scrummagers to be at their most focused. So it was a real advantage. It wasn't one that just went a shade wrong. Just crabbing a bit that time. The little tap in behind the defence. Osborne is there. Clears to the 10-metre line. Mark Andrews brought him to second jumper, even though he's playing at 8. But they've given actually a free ball there to Ian Jones, flicked away by Bashop. Zinzambrook, we know he can kick, but that time just an inch too far. It landed right on the line, and that means instead of gaining 40 metres, it's a line out to South Africa just outside the New Zealand 22.
Yes, last Sunday that would have bounced an inch before the line, but this is a week later. Zinzambrook just hitting it over long.
South Africa shading the territory. New Zealand have had more possession. Stratham couldn't get it, but Andrews did. Van der Westhuizen cuts inside Stransky. Getting inside Kronfeldt. This time it's Pienaar. Swamped. Did he get it to floor? That's the important thing. Yes, it was on the ground, says the referee, so a ruck, and therefore the put in to South Africa. Andrews coming off, driving away on the blind side. Van der Westhuizen just chipping down there. They've let it bounce. We know what he's like. Well, there's been a knock on there, certainly, if not more. Scrum to South Africa.
And I don't think that there'll be any surprise what South Africa are going to do here. They'll put the ball in, they're going to double drive and try to push New Zealand straight back over their own goal line. There's the knock on. It goes back. Accidental offside as well. Double infringement. South African scrimmage.
Now New Zealand digging in. And a penalty. And Olo Brown there being accused of taking the scrum down. Real pressure. Now he's not going to put up with taking it down and just giving away penalties for long. If New Zealand can't hold South Africa legally, we're soon going to see a penalty try in that sort of situation. There's the man, Olo Brown, who's struggling on the tight head against the giant South African loose head, Os Durant. 17.5 stone Durant, and Brown 17 stone, so it's not a very unequal contest, but he's having a problem at the moment, no question of it. Stransky with a penalty, 5 metres in from touch. Total concentration. Oh, is it going to stay wide? Just is. It didn't curl. It looked as if it was going to for a while. But 27 minutes gone, and the score remains New Zealand 6, South Africa 6.
But it's good tactics, South Africa. What they've got to do, they've got to scrummage the New Zealanders. They've got to keep Crunchfeld on the side of the scrum. They've got to sap their energy. South Africa playing the right tactics at the moment, certainly.
Big kick-off. Lomu trying to get there. He couldn't do it. 2 knock-ons. Mike Brewer down again, needing treatment there, and Jamie Joseph is stripped and ready to come on. He can't come on at the moment because Brewer's not off the field.
And this is real professionalism, if I could put it that way, John, by New Zealand. Olo Brown has suddenly picked up a mystical injury, basically, and it's going to allow Brewer to get the injury treated behind the goal. You can't scrummage while a prop forward's injured, and this prop forward is clearly injured.
Now re-strapping Brewer's ankle.
That was the first knock-on. Second knock-on does not count. Scrum back, and it's going to be New Zealand putting.
Craig Dowd looking as if he's okay. Michael Brewer still on the floor, but it's meant they're going to certainly play with only 7 forwards for a shorter time. New Zealand have it. Lomu inside, they've got away. Crunchfeld. Olo Brown driving on. Good drive from the New Zealanders this. The forwards getting it moving. Dash up. Little knock forward. Just when they didn't need it. And James Small a bit wobbly going back to his position after feeling the full force of Lomu for the first time.
He certainly did. And that scrum, they didn't even try any back row move. Zinzambrook just gave it straight to Lomu, who thundered down the touchline like a rhino.
Michael Brewer still behind his own goal line, receiving treatment. Back it comes to Stransky. Great kick from him. And Derek Bevan giving the touch. Osborne hoping that he hadn't had a foot in touch when he touched the ball, but the touch judge ruling he had.
Spot on, John. If the ball hits the touchline or a player who is actually in touch, it goes the throw in to that particular side.
Half an hour gone. 6-all. And the only clear pattern at the moment is that when the ball goes wide, New Zealand have the advantage. And in the forward, South Africa just have an advantage. A classic contest. Van der Westhuizen looking to run. James Small coming in. Rousseau. Fed back by Kobus Visser. Andrews on the charge. Taken by Fitzpatrick. Visser. And New Zealand having to tackle their hearts out. Rousseau again. Back it comes. Kruger driving on. Now they've got men spare if they can work it wide quickly. Joubert almost getting free. South Africa have it still. Back it comes to Stransky. The drop goal. It's there. And South Africa into the lead for the first time. 31 minutes gone. And getting the reward for that pressure.
And they deserved it. Wonderful South African forward play. Some great driving, rooking ball by the forwards. Eventually spun it out wide. Good tackle by Frank Bunce to save the day on Joubert. But Stransky knew when he got this ball back from the ruck, which he almost inevitably was going to, there was only one option.
Well, they got the 3 points, but you just wonder, with 3 men outside him, whether the pass may well have been more worthwhile. Only time is going to tell.
Restart. There goes Lomo. But Stradham's gathered it in. Kronfeld trying to hang on to Stransky. He can't. This time the kick just inches from touch. Osborne slipping, caught by James Small. Van der Westhuizen pushes it wide. And they're kicking straight wide for Chester Williams. 2 under 1 out there. Kruger setting it up again. And away comes Bunce with the ball at the vital moment. And Joubert can do nothing. Once again, end-to-end stuff.
Oh, what a match, what a fantastic game. New Zealand there swept the really under massive pressure, won a crucial ruck, and here we are now. They just whacked it 60 yards down the pitch, and now it's South Africa under pressure.
33 minutes coming up towards 34 minutes gone. And Fitzpatrick has the throw in. Pienaar coming up with the vital catch. Cheers ring out round the stadium. South Africa away to the comparative safety of the 22.
Quite rightly so, those cheers, because New Zealand, it's rare they don't get their own ball, especially in attacking positions like that. And really they want to sort this out because they can't go through the game not getting their own line-out ball.
8 all, so the statistics say, but the vital ones have gone South Africa's way. One at the front that time. Just trying to get it wide. Lomo has it. Didn't go forward. Wilson's across there to lay it back. Pienaar's in there to clean up. Over the top, we saw Robin Brooke diving straight over and giving away the penalty.
Oh, well played, Francois Pienaar. He was there first, the ball was loose. And South Africa owed their captain a big debt for that one, because that to come back New Zealand way, it would have been very dangerous.
And they use Joubert's left boot this time. Much better angle for the left-footed kicker, and that takes play almost up to the New Zealand 22. Monet Duplessis, former captain of South Africa, number 8, played against the 1974 Lions in that epic series, now the manager. Stradham at the back of the line-out, but Andrews they're trying to get it to, and he got the first and vital touch, picked up by Fitzpatrick. Van der Westhuizen just trying to chip over the top of the forwards, and it went straight into them and they caught. You can see the funny side of it. Sean Fitzpatrick holds just about every New Zealand record, their most capped player, World Cup appearances, more than any other player. So this is his 17th over the 3 tournaments. Taken by Stradham, but the throw wasn't straight.
But it's such an absorbing contest, John. Like you say, the classic battle, really. The South Africans really giving the New Zealand forwards a hard time, and the Kiwis, any chance they get, they'll run it wide to those very, very speedy backs.
The front row going down, and the referee deciding it was no one's fault that time. But New Zealand would be a lot happier if these scrums were easy. Lomu bounces off one man, but back it comes. Van der Westhuizen felt his full force, but he's a plucky little fellow. He's up. knocked back. Now New Zealand have at last got possession. Out to Cromfeld. He'll run through anything too. Sets it up. Wide it goes. Zinzanbroek just pushing it out to Wilson, and then Little coming back through the middle, but South African tackling good at the moment. Scrum to South Africa.
The New Zealanders find it a lot harder than last week. These South African first-time tackles are really going in strong, because what we saw when the first-time tackle doesn't go in, these guys score tries from all over the field. The South Africans really putting in some big hits.
38 minutes gone. South Africa leading 9-6. Anxious looks on the South African bench, and well, there might be. They know that this is a crucial phase of the game. If South Africa can go into half-time and then play a big first 10 minutes, they've got control of this game. Andrews, perhaps his inexperience at number 8 showing there, just being robbed of the ball easily as he turned his back on the opposition.
Yes, the gain of the line-outs in Mark Andrews, but really back of the scrum ball, that's where he's not very good. And there behind what is a very good scrummaging pack, you really want a guy to launch Van der Westhaven, but in that time he didn't give him a very good ball at all.
Ball comes out, and unfortunately it's knocked on, and there you see Francois Pienaar diving on the player on the ground. But you really got to question, John, that New Zealand plan A seems to be run the ball from everywhere on the field. I'm sure at half-time Laurie Main is going to say, boys, what about plan B? We're in a high altitude situation, use the boot from your own half and then attack when you get inside the South African 22.
Mike Brewer, ankle already heavily strapped, gets a knee in the back. But he survived that too. And we're into the last minute on the clock before half-time. Play up to halfway, a last chance now from this line-out perhaps for New Zealand to attack before half-time. Kobus Visser brought in as the front jumper, the heaviest man in the side, 19.5 stone. Good leap there from Michael Jones. Mertens putting it high. It's coming down just outside the 22 to Chester Williams. Set himself beautifully to take that. Now the Blacks, though, have it. The drive on, but South Africa managed to rescue it. Offside. You were too quick away. The ball was not out of the back of the ruck, says the referee, and the penalty to South Africa, so they now get a chance to clear the touch under no pressure at all, and of course they'll get the line out. Another massive kick from the fly half. Joel Stransky, and the referee decides that's the 40 minutes up. Really is a fascinating battle. South Africa had the edge at the moment. 2 penalties and a drop goal to 2 penalties. South Africa lead 9-6.
Go now, fellas. Okay. All right, want to focus in.
Dans son lit, j'espère
Okay, this is where the men come out to us now. Okay, nou begin ons speel.
Well, if you can't see it, you can't give it. But I'm sure South Africa will make the most of that if they lose by 2 or 3 points in this game.
And during half-time, New Zealand have made a substitution, a replacement on Jamie Joseph. Wrapped in there by Robin Brooke. Straight down the touchline this time it goes from Graham Bashop. Chester Williams pushes it straight back. Mertens is there. Superb kick from him. Quickly taken by Joubert. Caught and taken as is allowed. But the net gain to New Zealand still about 50, 60 metres. They have the line out midway into the South African half. Jamie Joseph, the big flanker, on instead of Mike Brewer. Tried to recover but couldn't. Good take from Ian Jones. Olu Brown through the middle, still charging on. That's a better setup for New Zealand, the sort of drive they haven't had. Joseph, Mertens, wide to Lomu, getting it out to Little. He's still wriggling away through. Pienaar trying to get in to wrestle it clear. Back it comes to Mertens. And it's wide.
Good start in the second half though by New Zealand. Kicking deep for the corners, making South Africa put the ball back into touch, so they've got the throwing the line out. So the good line out ploy really took them deep into South African territory. And this young lad, if he gets a chance at goal, he'll go for it, and he really gives it a belt. Good decision, Ed Morrison.
Stransky. Little dummy, drops out long to Osborne. Well, this boy can run too, but Lomu now just fighting and getting it clear. Jeff Wilson with a lot of pace. Back inside, the referee's happy. Craig Dowd set it up. Out. Hoisting it high, it's deep into the 22 and there's nobody after it. Joubert can mark that at leisure.
Yes, pity a bit too high and a bit too far there from Mertens, but you can just see the New Zealanders starting to get into a bit of a rhythm here. If they can string those passes together like they're doing at the moment, they're really showing beautiful handling skills.
And a sliced kick from Joubert. Osborne now to run it back at them. Good tackle from Joubert, but Lomu now on the charge. Wide it comes. Brook out to Jeff Wilson. He's got a lot of support over that side. Oh, but he chose to pass just at the wrong moment. Pienaar and Joubert after it, and Wilson just hacking away into touch. The youngster there showing his inexperience a shade. He had a lot of time, but he was too anxious.
Yes, it happens. You throw the ball around, mistakes do happen, and Jeff Wilson there, he should have just held on instead of giving that silly short pass away, which allowed Pienaar to once again become the South African hero, clearing his lines magnificently.
Rousseau, the man who has come in for James Dalton. Great jump from Visser that time. And South Africa getting the drive on. Kruger trying to get things going. The referee happy, that was out.
Yes, at the end of the day, if the ball goes to the back of the maul and there's one person on his feet, that maul is over. And Craig Dowd was perfectly entitled to come there and tackle the player with the ball.
So Bashop with the feed. He hasn't found touch. Chester Williams into Joubert. And he goes for a massive drop goal. My goodness, it was long enough. Wide of the right post, but it would certainly have cleared the bar.
Yeah, the kicking skills of both teams is absolutely phenomenal. And then they're doing drop kicks and punts like 50, 60, 70 yards.
There's Glenn Osborne. Made his debut just against Canada earlier this year and show what a runner he is. He scored 2 tries in that game. Nephew of Bill Osborne, who many of you I'm sure will remember that very abrasive centre back in the 70s for the All Blacks. Still 9-6, South Africa lead. And the All Blacks that time penalised for closing the gap. Free kick. Robin Brooke, the youngest of the Brooke brothers. Here's the big man, Osdurant. Quickly fed back. And it's coming, they've got a man over. But they couldn't get it away to Chester Williams. Good tackling. Kronfeld again getting in there at the vital moment.
Yeah, the tackling of both teams has been absolutely crunching for decades. These two great rugby union nations have been knocking lumps out of each other, and today's no exception.
Yes, overall South Africa have 20 wins against New Zealand's 18, but since they came back into competition in '92, it's 3-0 with 1 drawn to New Zealand. Back to Mertens, wide it goes. Lomu couldn't take that one. Poor pass to him, but there was a knock-on.
And you've got to say that New Zealand are putting themselves under pressure through rather poor passing. They must get down to the end where South Africa are an attack from inside the South African 22. This is just indiscipline on the New Zealand side.
Overloaded on the left. Joubert with the chip through. James Small trying to get through onto it. Can't pick it up cleanly. Pienaar's there. He flicks it back inside. Osborne trying to get a hand on it. And New Zealand have it.
And that was a beautiful kick through by Andre Joubert. If Small had picked that ball up, it was going to be try time, but he just couldn't get hold of it.
There's Joubert with that shield on the left hand. He's got a broken bone there from earlier in the tournament, but it doesn't seem to be giving him any trouble at all. Bashop. Mertens, they come storming through to try and get pressure on him, but it's a good kick again from the fly half.
Yes, it was, and beautiful quick hands there from Graham Bashop. He really is one of the best passers of the ball in world rugby.
Andrew Mertens, his father was a junior All Black, his granddad played for New Zealand. Taken by Stratham. Stransky back inside to the big man, Kobus Visser. Penalty to New Zealand. He clung on to that on the floor and holding on. Sure penalty. Who says he wasn't tackled? Play up to halfway.
Pity that really, because Visa had broken the gain line. He just held on too long, and Ed Morrison said, sorry, you can't do that. Penalty New Zealand.
And you can see he was quite clearly held, so all his arguments were nonsense. Well taken by Jones off the top. Through the middle goes Bunce. And they've cleared him way quickly that time. That's what New Zealand haven't been getting, is quick ball. Wilson inside. Round comes Walter Little. New Zealand digging in there. There it is. Back it goes. Mertens hoisting it high. That's a good one. They can get under that. Joubert forced to jump, but he took it well. New Zealand claiming that they should have had it, but the referee very clear and very right. The fullback had nowhere to go, was collared as soon as he hit the ground.
Yeah, showing great skill there, Joubert, and also great courage with a broken hand. He didn't think twice about it. Very important catch for South Africa.
Down goes the scrum. Well, that did look like a little bit of a collapse. And the referee agrees. He said that he wasn't happy about that one. Down it goes, and the penalty has gone to who? Blaming the New Zealand loosehead that time. Craig Dowd. Stransky finds touch just inside the New Zealand half. 10 minutes gone. South Africa still leading. (9-6), just that Joel Stransky drop goal in it. Beautifully taken by Ian Jones. Zinzan Brooks setting it up. Penalty to New Zealand. Over the top.
New Zealand just can't get out of the stranglehold the South Africans have put them with their first time tackling, but I still can't help thinking, John, that it's all that South Africa need to do is just miss one of these tackles, and all these New Zealand speedsters they've got, they can run in tribes from anywhere. That really is the big danger.
And Mertens deciding to go from goal from at least 2-3 metres inside his own half.
There's the tackle being made, and there's the player going clean over the top. It's so obvious, it's unbelievable.
Andrew Mertens. 2 from 2 so far in the match. Just going for that extra distance. He's hooked it wide. It happens so often. And James Small is going runabouts behind his own line, already trying to waste time. Van der Westhuizen to Mulder. Stransky putting it deep. Osborne's under it. Running it back, Little. Oh, and that's dangerous, but Lomu has it. They've collared him, that was Strader who got him. The big second row. Healed free. Wilson. Only just got the touch. The referee says the ball was played. Touch judge agreed that there was no problem.
Yes, there it is. Chester Williams goes to picks it up and knocks it on, and really it's just a push and a touch, and always concerned the referee at that point is the third player in, and you can see Henry LaRue just about to poke his nose into the situation.
The little loop, wide it goes. Osborne through the gap, wide to Lomu. He's on course, Juba. Good tackle, across the clean, big Yapi Mulder. The 15-stone centre getting across to make the second tackle.
Wonderful rugby though, New Zealand. They put Lomo in space for the first time. And we proved one thing in this game anyway, you actually can bring him down, because he's been brought down on several occasions in this match. Desperate straights here, South Africa, but they really do show fantastic commitment in the tackle.
Important line out for South Africa. They're just 7 or 8 metres out. New Zealand got the touch though off their throw. Little with the little dummy, almost through. Just legs knocked away by Mulder. Back it comes. And the drop goal goes over. Mertens as cool as a cucumber. He thought about spinning it left to go for the try, then decided he wanted the points. And New Zealand are level again. Identical scoring, 2 penalties and a drop goal to each side, 9-all.
And they deserve those 3 points, New Zealand. Some beautiful midfield play. Set up the ruck here in midfield. It's what they want to do. Frankie Bunce just laying the ball back. Mertens looking, just checking, just looking. He knows where that ball's going, right between the uprights.
Taken by Robin Brooke. Mertens and rifles the ball downfield. A great kick again. He was under pressure, but he's taken play to just outside the South African 22. And Jeff Wilson in trouble, and on has come Mark Ellis, another speedster. He's actually the fastest man in the New Zealand squad, so they're certainly not reducing the pace. Taken by Jamie Joseph. He lays it back.
You just get the feeling that the South African forwards are starting to blow a little bit more than they were earlier in the game.
16 minutes gone in the second half. And well, nearly offside, but the ball was out. Play goes on. Bunce wide to Osborne. That's a lovely pass. Can he go round? Juba almost. This is where they're so dangerous, and as you so rightly said, Steve, you're suddenly beginning to see the New Zealand runners in space.
Yes, the New Zealand back play really is becoming strong now over the last 10 minutes there. They use Lomo as a decoy very cleverly. Missed pass, and there's the Osborne on the wing for the overlap, but again, South Africa, great tackling. Lomo, he's a decoy, skip pass. Juba's going to make this one, or it's going to be a try. Well done, Andre Juba.
South African throw. They've come up with it. Back to Stransky. Good kick for him. Play to the 22. This time it's the New Zealand throw-in at the line-out.
Yes, now it's danger. New Zealand throw, 22 metres out. Mona du Plessis looking a bit worried.
Mark Ellis now out here on the right wing for New Zealand. He made his debut as outside half, remember, on the British tour. Sean Fitzpatrick. Off the top from Ian Jones. Back it comes to Mertens. Another drop goal attempt. This time it goes wide.
It's almost becoming a psychological battle that who gets the next points really could give them the inspiration. A very good ruck there, and it's lined up again, but he's just pushed it wide of the post in his anticipation.
Not a beautifully struck kick, but just that shade wide. Stransky drops it out. Taken. And into touch, coming around the wrong side there. They wanted that to stay in play, but Joseph coming out to touch. Richard Lowe, Norm Hewitt and Strawn on the bench. New Zealand bidding to become the first country to win the World Cup twice. Nicely thrown back off the top. Visser making it his own. And South Africa now desperately trying to make the most of their first bit of possession for some time. Chip through. Oh, Ellis turned beautifully. And away goes Little to Lomu. Forward pass given there, and Lomu was away. He can hardly believe it. I have to say it didn't look forward to me.
Ed Morrison will not be too popular in New Zealand at the moment. That was marginal, and Lomu was absolutely clear. And South Africa breathed a big sigh of relief.
Midway through the second half. To work the move right inside to Kruger. And Van der Westhuizen, he's so dangerous. Small trying to get there. Good tackle, well done by Osborne to stay with his man. Back it comes. Andrews trying to drill a hole there from the standing start. Back to Stransky. It's important that Mertens holds on to him. He does. They got it to the floor. Strummed down to South Africa. Desperate moments for New Zealand.
Certainly were, and Glas Osborne showing that he's got true defensive quality, because that was magnificent tackle on James Small. He would have missed him. Small would have been into the corner for sure.
New Zealand regrouping. They know that they've got to get themselves away from this position, because Stransky's in a prime drop goal set up, just dropping back deep off the back of the scrum. The crowd during the break trying to keep everything going. Ed Morrison showing the strain by having a drink.
Small going for the corner. Osborne had to take him, and he does. That was another big tackle. We saw one the other end from Joubert, and that was just a big one from Glenn Osborne. Full back of the highest quality.
Right, ready to restart. Working it right again. Andrew to Van der Westhuizen, wriggling free out to Small again. Back inside to Joubert. Good tackling from the All Blacks. They have the throw at the line.
Well, South Africa have shown that they can defend, and now it's New Zealand's turn to show how they can tackle.
Vital that New Zealand come up with the ball. Yes, high leap there from Ian Jones. He's having a big game in the line-out. Back it comes to Mertens. Rosso. Oh, it's not found touch. Small to run it back. It's a great kick. He hoists it into the 22. Knocked forward. It's been knocked forward by the South Africans. The referee was onto that straight away. But dangerous moment again. The determination writ large all over Small's face.
Yes, you get the impression, don't you, that the next try could, or the first try could actually settle this game, and both teams are very aware of this.
Back to Mertens now. You can bet your life he won't miss touch again. Well, he didn't, but not the way I expected him to find touch. South Africa have only passed the ball 6 times compared to New Zealand's 14. And just come back from those set pieces. Kronfeld. Mertens putting it wide, going for position. It's a beautiful kick into the 22. Was the man who got married back in May, Walter Little. Frank Bunce, his partner in the centre, was his best man. New Zealand back in an attacking position, but South Africa had the line out through. Robin Brooke off the top from Stradham. Great kick from Stransky.
And the tension on the pitch and around the ground really is absolutely electric. Both sides knowing that one mistake could lose them the World Cup.
New Zealand cut the line out to 2. Brooke. No, he can't come up with it. It's been their problem. Robin Brooke hasn't been winning his share of the line-out ball at the front. Ball hoofed deep into New Zealand territory. Mark Ellis is back. Sit down, and New Zealand have the 22 drop out. Chester Williams chasing, hopefully like a good wing would. And it looks as if there's a cut from Graham Bashop, playing his last international today because he's going to go to Japan and take up a job in Japan and play his rugby there from next season.
Well, with the size of Bashop, I would think he'd be playing in the second row in Japan next year, John.
Very solid character. His brother Steve, of course, an All Black as well, never played a test, but did play tests in the last World Cup for Western Samoa. And Strawn comes on to replace him, and Bashop has got to go off and get that cut fixed. They won't let him back on the pitch until the bleeding has stopped. Mertens. Ball into touch. New Zealand's throw in. And Strawn, very experienced, winning his 11th cap. He replaced Bashop at one stage on merit after the last World Cup. And South Africa that time were the people penalised for closing the gap. In comes the setup. Mertens putting it. No, just missing the line by inches, so it's all the way back to their own 10-metre line.
And really, New Zealand are in uncharted territory here. It's the first time in the competition that we come into the closing stages of the game, and they're not leading by some 20 points.
Bally Swart in trouble. The veteran prop. There he's got that special little plastic clip across the nose which is supposed to help enhance the breathing, but it looks as if he's coming off. And that will be bringing on Gary Pagel, just holding his ribs. And the Springboks are deliberately hanging around, trying to wait for the doctor to give clearance for Pagel to come on. There he is, Gary Pagel, the Western Province prop. 18.5 stone, a much bigger man than Swart. So an extra stone at the vital time for South Africa into the front row. Off the top. And a vital ball for New Zealand, and knowing that we're getting into these stages where every score counts, Merton's just putting the ball downfield to take the game into South African territory. We will, of course, have extra time in this final if the scores are level at the end. Coming up to half an hour gone. And then there will be 10 minutes each way if it's needed. And you can see, I think, Steve, that both sides are beginning to feel a bit inhibited about their rugby because we're getting into this last 10 minutes and it's all level. Strawn.
Yes, although New Zealand have shown great ambition throughout this whole tournament, suddenly you've seen Mertens kicking the ball more than at any other time in the tournament. Really, that both sides are very, very aware the next score could really clinch the World Cup for whoever team scores it.
Down goes the scrum. And the penalty against Craig Dowd. Great kick. Stransky pushing South Africa down into the New Zealand 22.
And territory becomes all important now, because if you make a mistake and the referee gives the penalty, everyone is going to be within a kicker's range.
The great South African dream. I was certainly amongst those who felt that they weren't good enough yet to take it off, but here they are, 10 minutes to go, and they're level and they're on the attack. The throw wasn't straight, so New Zealand come up with the put in.
Yes, I agree, John. Very few people thought at this stage of the game it'd be 9-all. People really thought this New Zealand side was something special.
And Mertens misses touch. Chester Williams can't catch it cleanly. Up goes the kick. Joubert's kick, that is, gathered in by Osborne. He's going to run it back and go for touch. And a good touch from him. Stransky hasn't got anybody back to throw to quickly, so Osborne achieves tremendous yardage for New Zealand.
Amazing, Osborne and Mertens both quite scrawny characters, but they don't know how to kick the ball a long way.
Visser. New Zealand got the touch, shipped away by Strawn. Lomu through the middle. Again he's shackled. That was Chester Williams getting in the tackle. The chip in behind. Will it go to touch or over the... Oh, it's a brilliant kick. Just 2 meters out. And that's signalling that Graham Bishop is back on the field. Comes back from the scrum half position. New Zealand using Zinzan Brook as the extra scrum half there at the end. By taking Bishop back 10 meters, they can get an extra forward into the area. Freedom getting up there and making the all-important take. And the All Blacks penalised for pulling down the maul.
And that was a real pressure throw. It was right on the button, and South Africa, a yard from their own line, breathe a sigh of relief.
Stransky misses touch. Osborne in the midfield. And he's just playing the high ball game. Oh, that's a really nasty one. And suddenly South Africa under pressure from a situation that they couldn't have expected. Oh, and they get away with it. New Zealand actually getting hold of the ball. They didn't get it down to set up the ruck, and so South Africa get the scrum. Joubert. Bashop making a great effort to charge down the kick, but the touch found. Still inside the South African 10-metre line, though. 34.5 minutes gone. New Zealand line out, and everybody feeling the pace. Ian Jones, who's had such an important game in the line out. The Kamo kid, up from north of Whangarei in the far north of North Island. He's done it again. Craig Dowd on the peel. New Zealand setting it up. That time they did get it down. 5 minutes left on the clock. Mertens. Bunch, Little coming back on the inside. Lomu straight through two of them, but they've got men there in numbers again. Kronfeldt tried to get away the pass, but it was wild.
How many times have we said it on the tournament? Lomu to Kronfeldt, he was there on his shoulder again, but for once Kronfeldt, he couldn't link the pass, and he knows it. If that had gone to hand, it would have been very dangerous indeed.
All credit to the South Africans. The power of their tackling has been tremendous, and their determination all the way through has never faltered. They've certainly put a break on the flowing New Zealand game we've seen for the rest of the tournament. Big jump from Visser that time. Stransky. Way goes the huge kick. Almost up to halfway.
And it's so tense, John. Less than 5 minutes to go, 9-all on the halfway line. It's a real nail-biter. And the South African crowd, they can't believe their team are still in it. And they certainly are.
Craig Dowd as Robin Brooke. He gets it this time, very importantly. Back it comes to Mertens. Oh, Little, so clever, the double dummy, and almost wriggled free round Henny LaRue. Away goes the little kick to the corner again. Beautifully done by Bashop.
Quality scrum half play. Graham Bashop, he realises they've got to keep the pressure on South Africa once again. South Africans within 10 metres of their own line, but fortunately for them, it is their own throw.
37.5 minutes on the clock. Ed Morrison still chatting away happily to everybody. He's had good control of the game. So no trouble with the players, and that's always a sign of good refereeing. Jones getting the touch, that's so important. Bunce just spinning himself around. Mertens with the drop goal. And it flies wide. The vital one from in front.
Oh, they can't believe it. By his own standards, it really was quite an easy one. It was bang in front. And he's just pushed it wide of the post. And it was spun off the outside of his boot. He should have made that one, really.
Again, just territory is what they're about. Osborne. Yes. No, it wasn't. Derek Bevan watching carefully. Again, right on the line. So play now in New Zealand territory, and suddenly the crowd come alive.
Yes, it just shows New Zealanders under pressure are as human as any of us. Big mistake that by Glenn Osborne, and the South African crowd realise they're with a big chance here.
And into the final minute. South Africa have it. Little tap forward. The referee spotted it, and relief for New Zealand. They get the scrum. Remember, if the scores are level, 5 minutes break, and then it's 10 minutes each way. Mertens pushes it up, Lomu's after it. Leaked, but taken beautifully by Small. And South Africa have it. Just 10 seconds left on the clock. We should have some injury time. Still all locked up, 9-all, just that one drop goal in the second half. Oh, and the way this ball bounced could be vital. And the New Zealand players trying to keep it alive to get in a big clearance, couldn't do it. Chester Williams almost through, but a line out, just 5 metres now from the New Zealand line.
The way that South Africa have been dominating the line-out, you wouldn't bet against them actually taking the ball once again against the head. And if it is, well, Stransky will be cleaning his boots for the drop goal already.
Sean Fitzpatrick facing one of the pressure moments of his long career. Tremendous responsibility on him with the throw. Gets it right, and Ian Jones comes up with the ball. Bishop puts it away to touch. Now it's the South African throw, and they're still only out to the 22, well within range. But the referee blowing for full time. Will now have 10 minutes each way, extra time. The score's locked at 9-all. We'll take a break there and be back in a moment.
It's got to be a winner.
Well, tension will be out there, but South Africa, I'm sure, will realise they have actually got to win this, because if it does stay all level at the end of full time and extra time, they will have lost the World Cup on their poorer disciplinary record. So off we go, 10 minutes each way. In comes the battle again. Van der Westhuizen putting it high. Ellis leaving for it. Knocked forward by the All Blacks, so scrum down South Africa.
It would be sad to see the World Cup settle like that, John, but I don't think it will be personally. I think we'll see some scores in this extra time period because both sides are very tired indeed.
The actual ruling is that it goes to tries scored in the match, not in the tournament, in the match first, and they would decide it if one side has scored more than the other. And if that does not bring a result, then it goes to disciplinary record. Offside in front of the kicker. So New Zealand now have a kick 2 meters inside the South African half, and I am absolutely certain that Mertens will go for goal.
And that all came about because Stransky cut back inside Kronfeldt as he's done so often, but the two centres had gone ahead of him, so when he actually kicked they were ahead of him and offside.
Ed Morrison wise to every trick. Mertens was just trying to steal an extra yard or two, and he's pulled him back. You can quite clearly see there Yapi Mulder well in front. Mertens almost on the centre spot. Francois Pienaar, the tension showing, and it's hardly a surprise. He really doesn't have to strike this too hard. He's got plenty of distance, but he's hooked it. No, he hasn't. Stayed inside the near post, and New Zealand go into the lead in extra time. A third penalty from Andrew Mertens gives them the lead, 12-9.
And that may be one of the pressure kicks of all time for Andrew Mertens.
Good take that time from Brooke. Brooke the younger, Robin Brooke. Bashop, good kick down the sidelines, but straight into touch. And I can see the headlines out here tomorrow. If South Africa do lose this in extra time, with that try disallowed, they're not going to be complimentary. Andrews knocked it on. In fact, it was Stradham who'd gone to the back. They moved Andrews up to the front.
And New Zealand in the lead now. They'll know how to play this game. There'll be no moving it from their own 22 in this period of extra time. Andrew Mertens will kick it as far as he possibly can downfield.
And Richard Lowe on the sideline. And that's Craig Dowd. Now, again, being very cynical, you wonder whether here's a tactical substitution. Dowd, just after they've had a 5-minute break, Laurie Mains on the field, and he was in trouble on that loose head against the South Africans. They've got Richard Lowe on the sideline. He's making a good job of that acting, and on comes Richard Lowe for his 47th cap. That's a new New Zealand record. He overtakes Steve McDowell.
The only problem with Mr. Lowe is that he tends to give a lot of penalties away in any game that he plays in.
Scrum staying up. Back it comes. Little chip through into the South African half. Joubert getting across. Just does it beautifully. Well done by Bunce. And Bashop putting it over into the wide open spaces. Mark Ellis is after it. But Chester Williams comes up with the ball. Good cut inside from him. Van der Westhuizen sniping down the blind side. They've got room. Forward pass, well spotted. That one was definitely forward. No question of it.
Yeah, no doubt at all about that, John. Ed Morris was well placed for it, and this crowd who cheered when he blew against Lumo is now booing him when he's given exactly the same decision out on the wing. Let's look at it very closely here. Coming through, yes, no doubt at all. forward pass.
And really there was no need for it, was there? All Mulder had to do was hold back a yard and it was a straight 2-1. And not only did Ed Morrison have the skill to give that forward pass, but he's also a very brave man.
Graham Bashop needing treatment. And Mertens has had to come in. Treatment going on the sideline. Mertens is the acting scrum half. The kick charge down, but whisked away. Bunce trying to find a way through the middle. He's so strong. And Bashop has got back into the game. Lomu wrestling off Small. In comes Osborne, and they've set it up well. Small almost early tackling Lomu in his anxiety, and Mertens trying to push towards the corner. He's got a good roll on it. Into Chester Williams, South Africa knowing they've got to attack. And the scrum going. In's come the touch judge's flag. It's Joël Dumais. Well, if it was for the tackle, I think that was the player actually falling down, but if it's something else, we shall see.
And I've just got a sneaky feeling that Mr. Lowe has just made an impression on the game, John.
Mark Andrew is okay again, and Joël Dumais comes in from the far touchline to talk to the referee. And dead right, Clive. Richard Lowe cautioned, next time you're off, he says. Play back into the New Zealand half. 7.5 gone in this first period of extra time. Zell Curtin in the second row there. Craig Dowd one up. And Andrews. Ed Morrison saying the All Blacks were guilty of closing the gap, so he's given the free kick. It's not a penalty. They cannot go direct for goal, and in fact they can't even drop for goal until one of the opposing players has touched the ball. Osdurant enveloped by Ian Jones. Henny LaRue, back comes Yapi Mulder. Out it comes again. Van der Westhuizen trying the short side. And Chester Williams bundled into touch.
South Africa trying everywhere there to force a way through, but the New Zealand defence holding firm. Some very, very tired bodies out there, but the commitment from both teams has been absolutely fantastic.
Well, possession is largely gone with the side that's put the ball into the scrums. New Zealand had a better trouble at the front of the line out. But Ian Jones has done a tremendous job for them in the middle. Into the last minute on the clock. But we've had that time when Craig Dowd was injured, so we might well get a couple of minutes more. Great kick away from Mertens this time, but up to 10 metres inside his own half. Still in range for the South Africans. That's how they'll be thinking of it.
Yes, it is. Remember, we are at altitude and they can kick the ball 50, 60 metres, no problem. Both number 10s can kick it an awful long way.
Mark Andrews. Durant runs it back at New Zealand. Hoisted high by Stransky. And the deflection coming back South Africa's way. And the referee spotted it. Over the top, he said, "You went New Zealand." The cheers ring around. As yet again, a golden opportunity here for Stransky to level up the scores.
Well, really loose play by New Zealand there. They should have tidied up that high kick when it actually came down, and as a result of the ball going loose, they've just gone over the top of the player on the ground and given Stransky the opportunity to level the scores once again in this match.
Here we see it. Lovely kick from Stransky. Really put New Zealand under pressure. And after the ball was bouncing around, the All Blacks give away a very important penalty.
In fact, more than going over the top, although that's what he gave it for. There was a little hand in there that flicked it back, but it was the right decision. And it's over. Stransky, the coolest man on the park. The whistle goes for half-time in extra time. And once again, it's all tied up now at 12 all. Now we'll certainly have the water carriers on the field, I've no doubt. But officially, there's no break. This should turn straight around.
And the tension really is absolutely amazing. Joel Stransky, by his standards, that was an easy kick. It was bang in front, but I wouldn't think any kick in this extra time period is going to be easy for either kicker.
And there, New Zealand, knowing that they've just given away the precious advantage they had from that penalty in the first minute of extra time.
Yes, and it was a bit of a silly penalty as well, really. New Zealand should have cleared the lines.
Well, the referee has decided against the official ruling that there's going to be a 5-minute break. Stransky getting himself ready to go again. I just wonder, Will Carling up there in the studio, whether you'd fancy being in this position. I know you'd love to be in the final, but it must be almost impossible to tell the guys how to play a game like this at this stage. Right, we're ready to go again. That sounds like pretty sensible advice to me. Hunt the ball, the side which is in possession is going to be the one which has the initial advantage. New Zealand have it. Mertens hoisting it deep, but he hasn't cleared Joubert. Expect him to do the same thing. He's the master of that kick. Hits that one so much lower than every other kick that he puts into touch, and just spirals it dead.
And he knows the All Blacks have got to drop out. They've got to drop it back to South Africa. And if the kick isn't given massive length, I'm sure that anybody within 50 yards of those goalposts is going to try and drop a goal.
Well, one thing that's sickened us out here, I think, since we've been here has been the, what do we call it, the Joburg wave. We've seen it every time things have gone dead. We haven't seen a sign of it today, which shows the tension. Kruger tackled, back it comes. Stransky hoists it high to the 22. Zinzanbrück is right back there. He can't take it cleanly though. It's a little knock forward, scrum down to South Africa. They get the first chance. Stransky back in the pocket, has the chance to drop the goal. It's a crucial scrum. Down they go again. And a substitution for South Africa there in the interval. They've sneaked on Rudolph Strowley at number 8, a fresh number 8 instead of Mark Andrews at 8. They must have got permission, of course. Has to be an injury replacement. Back it comes to Stransky. Up goes the kick. Up goes the walls. Stransky has kept his head. And with 2 minutes gone in the second period of extra time, South Africa's dream is alive once more.
And it's absolutely unbelievable. The crowd have gone mad. Joel Stransky, beautiful scrum ball. No doubt what he was going to do. And he struck it straight between the uprights.
Terrific kick from the Western Province outside half. We've seen that look before. Plays restarted. New Zealand have it. Little. Out it comes to Bunce, who's found some space. Mark Ellis coming back inside, but he can't hold it. Now expect 8 minutes of fury from the New Zealanders. Mark Ellis had to hold on to that. Coming up to 3 minutes gone, they've got 7 minutes to overtake.
And Frank Bunce, he's going mad with himself there. He just delayed the pass slightly. He should have passed it a split second earlier, and Mark Ellis would have been in a real dangerous situation.
Jace, Walter Little. I think that looks a bit like a dislocated finger they're trying to put back. And the president next to Louis Late, the president of the South African Rugby Football Union. Neither of them hardly daring to breathe.
And the problem facing New Zealand now is that they're up against the best defensive side in the tournament, John. To get a try against South Africa is going to be very difficult with only 6 minutes left.
Walter Little, I think it's in fact ribs, trying to stay on there. Little seems all right. The put-in goes to South Africa. 4 minutes gone on the clock. Onto the 10-meter line. And 5 minutes gone. Jones gets the all-important touch. Zinzanbrück setting it up. And they know they've got to release their big runners. Back comes Bunce again. Oh, and the pass again, just going astray. Ellis not onto it. 2 passes to him, just not going to hand.
Anxious moments, tension everywhere. You don't normally see that. Frank Bunce, normally so solid. Mark Ellis normally catches everything. But this is not a normal situation.
Stransky just putting it up there. Osborne now knows he's got to run it back. He's got to go looking for the runners. Comes past LaRue, gets past 2, he's got support now. Out straight to Lomu. Takes it second time. Kronfeld's there. Keeps it alive again, Joseph. And the scrum going to New Zealand. The tackling ferocious from South Africa. They know that they've only got to hold out for about another 4 minutes.
There's a hero, James Small. We wondered before this game if anybody could stop John Lomu. And the whole of the South African team have pulled him down virtually every time he's had the ball.
Referee insisting that the South Africans go down and that the game continues. Small can have treatment on the field. Brooke. Wide to Bunce again. Ellis this time. Trying to get through the middle to Bunce again. They put Osborne free. Can he get away? Stransky covers him. Jamie Joseph. Oh, and referee Ed Morrison ruling that was an obstruction.
Just a bit of a over eagerness by the New Zealanders running ahead of the ball carrier, and if you obstruct an opponent, then that is obstruction.
And South Africa trying to get on another replacement, but they won't be able to until the doctor has actually seen James Small over on the far side. Now we had the doctor racing over to declare him unfit. He's already done it. Let's get the next man on, they're saying, and now he can come on. It's Brendan Fenter, the centre who played against England last summer. 7.5 minutes gone. And New Zealand have to get the ball back. Taken by Kruger. Oh, and a penalty against Kronfeldt. Rolling around on the ground, playing the ball. He has to recover his feet after the tackle. And New Zealand now losing their discipline, and that won't help them at all, because all it's doing is running down the clock for South Africa.
Tension spilling over. South Africa just needs to keep a cool head now, because this is well within Stransky's range, and if he gets this one, I really do believe it will be all over.
Joel Stransky, the hero of South Africa today. He scored all 15 of their points. 4 penalties and a drop goal. And he puts this one over too.
No doubt about it. Coming in from the South African side, over eagerness by Kronfeldt at the end of the day, but you can't blame him.
Only a minute left. Joel Stransky with the kick. 3 from 4. It says on the caption, which is of course not right. He's kicked 4. He's kicked, sorry, let's get this right. He's kicked 3 penalties and 2 drop goals. And he's missed it. New Zealand will come racing out now to kick off quickly, I'm sure. They've got to get the ball back. And they've really now almost got to go the length of the field. There should be some injury time. Flick, they've got the ball back. Bounces off. They have to get rid of it, and the mistake there on the pass. Pienaar straight in to stop it. From South Africa. Now surely the dream must have come true. They've just got to get the ball from this scrum and keep possession. And that's the way they'll do it, keeping it in the middle of the back and going for the line. Back it comes to Joos van der Westhuizen. Little knock forward, but that's it. South Africa have won the World Cup, having been back in international rugby for less than 3 years and having not taken part in the first two competitions. At their first attempt, they have stolen the crown. Unbelievable scenes all around the park. Francois Pienaar, as you can see, absolutely in tears. And the whole team crying together as they've been all the way through the tournament, just giving themselves a few moments to savour it. They can hardly believe it themselves. Now they can emerge triumphant. Has to be said, a victory against all the odds. The one thing we knew they had right from the start was tremendous willpower. I, for one, did not believe that they had the skill to handle New Zealand, who had been, until today, the outstanding team in the tournament. And there's the difference between winners and losers. While South Africa go on their lap of honour, Walter Little and his teammates don't even want to face the cameras. Francois Pienaar, what a dream for him. He came into the South African team as captain. This is his 21st game, every one of them as captain. Now some of the famous old Springboks from another era. Pienaar, who had a lot of criticism as captain on the field, they all knew he had what it took off the field, a tremendous ambassador. He's proved it on the field now. And the whole of South Africa behind him. A momentous occasion. And just looking even at the flags and the supporters there, I can't tell you how much this place has changed in the last 3 years. When we came to see the first match back after isolation, it was all the old South African flag. There still wasn't a black face to be seen, but now it really is this rainbow nation, all behind their team. Still disbelief. The hero of the day, Stransky, kicked everything, apart from that final penalty when it didn't matter. 3 penalties and 2 drop goals. Kit Christie, the coach, who's also been criticised a tremendous amount for his selections. Everything's worked. Francois Pienaar with him, his assistant. Chester Williams there congratulating Brendan Pinter on getting onto the field. Incredible scenes. And in comes the parachutist. Still a long way up. It'll be a while before he arrives in the stadium. There's Morné du Plessis, hoisted aloft by his players.
Francois, and then we had 65,000 South Africans here today. Tremendous support.
David, we didn't have 60,000 South Africans. We had 43 million South Africans.
The president to the captain. There it is. Francois Pienaar. And Nelson Mandela is cheering along with the whole of the stadium. A sea of flags. Wonderful moment for the whole of South Africa. We hardly believed it could happen for them, but it has. And now the celebrations, I'm sure, will go on for at least a week.